My name is Gallaudet Mather, and I'm the interim dean of the graduate school. It's my pleasure to welcome you to graduate hooding and awards ceremony. Welcome from the faculty, students, and staff of Gallaudet University. Today, we recognize scholars who will be graduating tomorrow. You've worked hard to get where you are today, and today, your professional career begins. You leave Gallaudet with the preparation you will need to become leaders in all of your professions. This afternoon, we will present you with the hoods that you have earned. Tomorrow, you will wear those hoods at commencement as symbols of your advanced educational and professional achievements. Now it is my honor to introduce Dr. T. Allen Hurwitz, President of Gallaudet University. Hello, everyone. What a delight it is to have all of you here today for our graduate awards and hooding ceremony. Today is a time to recognize those who have completed work in our graduate school. In an era in which knowledge is key, we all congratulate these graduates for their recognition of the value of a graduate degree to their future success. Those of us from Gallaudet University join our graduates' families and friends in the pride we all feel in the accomplishment of each and every graduate that we recognize today as the class of 2015. Those here on behalf of our graduates are all deserving of recognition. Will the graduates and our faculty and staff please join me in applauding all of your family and friends. Thank you so much for being here. Our graduate faculty and the staff who works with them speak in wonderful terms of the students we have before us today. Our graduate faculty and staff are led by Dr. Gallaudet Mather, who, as he mentioned, is the interim dean of the graduate school. Dr. Mather is also the associate professor in the Department of Linguistics. Our faculty has created graduate programs second to none in the world. I applaud our faculty and staff for their leadership and for their work with these students. For the graduates, you have our thanks for what you have brought to Kendall Green. You enliven our entire campus. You bring critical perspectives to the academic issues discussed during your coursework. All of us look forward with anticipation to the contributions our graduates will make to enhance the lives of all you encounter in the future. It is now my privilege to introduce Ms. Heather Harker, Chair, Board of Trustees. Heather?
Good afternoon, families, honored guests, and of course, our graduates. On behalf of the Gallaudet University Board of Trustees, it is my honor to join you today. I know that every board member joins me in congratulating you sincerely, and of course, best wishes for your life after Gallaudet. Now it is my pleasure to present to you Dr. Carol Erding, Provost of Gallaudet University. Greetings, students, faculty, staff, families, and friends. This is indeed a grand occasion. As we gather to praise you for going the extra mile and exercising your intellect to attain higher educational goals and providing yourselves with the professional knowledge and skills so urgently needed in today's world. I wish much success to each of you. As we celebrate your accomplishments, this is also an appropriate time to recognize and thank the educators who've guided you through your graduate studies. Would the members of the graduate faculty and university staff please stand and be recognized? Please join me in applauding the efforts of the faculty and staff from your graduate programs. Again, congratulations to you on your graduation.
It is my great pleasure to introduce the speaker for today's graduate hooding and awards ceremony. Mr. Michael Uden has been nominated by President Barack Obama to become Assistant Secretary for Special Education and Rehabilitative Services and is currently awaiting U.S. Senate confirmation. He's a senior advisor working across the U.S. Department of Education to improve opportunities and outcomes for people with disabilities from birth throughout life. He also assists with the reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, ESEA, and supports the President's My Brother's Keeper initiative. Mr. Uden served as Acting Assistant Secretary for Special Education and Rehabilitative Services from June 2012 to February 2015. Before that, Mr. Uden served as Acting Assistant Secretary for Elementary and Secondary Education from June 2011 to May 2012. In this role, he helped lead the formulation and development of policy designed to promote academic excellence, and ensure equitable opportunities for educationally disadvantaged students in K through 12 education. Prior to joining the department, Mr. Uden served 9 years as a staffer for the U.S. Senate, serving 3 different senators. In these roles, he assisted in developing, promoting, and advancing a comprehensive legislative agenda related to education, children and families, disabilities, and poverty. Before joining the Senate, Mr. Uden served as an attorney at the Social Security Administration and at the U.S. Department of Labor for nearly 10 years. In these positions, he provided legal advice on various policy initiatives, including Social Security, disability, employment, and welfare reform. It is my honor to introduce Mr. Michael Uden.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hurwitz, faculty, students, families, congratulations. I am truly honored to be with you here today. This is your time to shine, to celebrate, to feel good about your accomplishments. You are proof that if you aim high, there are no limits. Your success is our success. Your success reflects the fundamental belief that if you give a child an opportunity to learn, he or she can achieve anything. We are celebrating the accomplishments of this fine institution's graduate and doctoral students, celebrating your accomplishments in ASL, in deaf studies, in counseling, in education, in speech-language pathology, just to name a few. More importantly, we're celebrating your dedication to improving the access and understanding and needs and supports of individuals who are deaf and hard of hearing. Again, your success is our success as a nation. Gallaudet University has a rich history as the world's premier institution of higher education, serving a diverse group of deaf and hard of hearing people. Gallaudet empowers its graduates by providing them with the knowledge and the skills necessary to achieve personal and professional growth and success in the evolving local and global economies and communities in which you will live and work. I know that Dr. Hurwitz and the faculty strive to ensure a positive and welcoming learning environment, a true marketplace of ideas among the deaf community. Part of Gallaudet's vision is that every person should be treated with the civility and that our community is strengthened by the broad diversity of its members. And I quote, "Therefore, we promote and applaud behaviors that support the dignity of individuals and groups and others and be respectful of others' opinions. We will especially discourage behaviors and attitudes that disrespect the diversity of individuals and groups for any reason, including religion and race, ethnicity, gender, age, sexual orientation, disability, hearing status, or language and communication preference." Clearly, as proud graduates and lifelong members of the Gallaudet community, you manifest excellence through inclusion. You embody the values of inclusion and equity and opportunity. You and your families should be proud of your accomplishments. You have reached greatness and demonstrate what meaningful educational opportunity can truly provide. You know, about 50 years ago, President Lyndon Johnson signed into law the original Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965, ESEA, which ensured kids from disadvantaged backgrounds had the same kinds of educational opportunities as their more affluent peers. You know, and when he signed that law, he said he had never signed or will ever sign a piece of legislation that will be more meaningful to the future of America. He set full educational opportunity as our first national goal. But we know that it takes hard work. It's work to make that opportunity real. If you truly believe that all of our children deserve the same kind of opportunity, then our collective work becomes extraordinarily clear. We know that when educators, when families and community leaders come together, work together, they can unlock the great vaults of opportunity of this nation, to echo the words of Dr. King from the March on Washington. Our work is to make sure that opportunity is not just a possibility, but a promise. ESEA marked an extraordinary step for education and for civil rights. It was the fight for educational opportunity and the fight for civil rights have always been inextricably linked. ESEA has built a foundation under our nation's schools, helping to raise the bar for every child and to ensure that the resources are there for those most in need. It's helped create an expectation that no matter where you live in this country, when students aren't making progress, local leaders will come together to make that change, especially if they are students with disabilities, students who are still learning English, students from a particular racial group, or those students who live in poverty. And the progress that has been made in these past 50 years is remarkable. We know that 50 years ago, millions of kids with disabilities were actually denied the opportunity to go to school with their peers. And today, as a result of ESEA and IDEA, a majority of kids spend about 80% of their time in the general classroom. Today, African American and Latino 9-year-olds succeed in math at about the same level that their 13-year-old peers did in the 70s. Today, dropout rates are down significantly. High school graduation rates have soared in recent years for all students. And just since 2008 alone, college enrollment by Black and Latino students has grown by more than 1 million. That's a really big deal, with most of those students being first-generation college goers. So clearly our work is not done. Achievement, opportunity gaps are pernicious and persistent. For too many kids, circumstances of birth remain a barrier to opportunity. The odds are stacked. We know that opportunity gaps often begin early at birth and they compound over time, becoming harder and harder to bridge. Too many of our kids drop out of school, too few kids go on to college, too few are employed, too many are underemployed, and far too many end up in jail. Our work will not be done until we ensure that opportunity is not just a possibility, but a promise. And frankly, that's why we're all here today, because we believe in the idea that no matter who you are, no matter what you look like, no matter where you came from, no matter what your circumstances, if you work hard, if you take responsibility, then America is a place where you can actually make something of your lives. In every community across America, there are young people with incredible drive and talent, and they just don't have the same kinds of chances that some of us have had. After recent events in Baltimore and Ferguson, the president has made it clear. He said that the stakes are clear. These stakes are high. At the end of the day, what kind of society do we want to have? What kind of country do we want to be? It's not enough to celebrate the ideals that we're built on, liberty and justice and equality for all. Those can't just be words on paper. The work of every generation is to make those ideals mean something concrete in the lives of our children, of all of our children. We know that the president didn't grow up with a dad, right? He's talked about sometimes growing up lost and adrift, not having a sense of a clear path forward. And he has said that the only difference between him and a lot of other young men in communities across this country is that he grew up in an environment that was just a little more forgiving. At some critical points, he had people who cared enough about him to give him a second chance, or a third chance, or a little bit of guidance when he needed it, or to open up a door that might otherwise be closed. He himself said he was lucky. He said there's nothing, not a single thing that's more important to the future of America than whether or not young people all across this country can achieve their dreams. So I just want to take a minute to ask our graduates a simple question. Now that you're earning your graduate degree, what are you going to do with it? Every one of our graduates will have their own answer to that question. And for many of you, that answer is still a work in progress. So as I thought about my remarks today, I asked myself, what can I say to these impressive group of graduates about what lies ahead? The truth is that when I graduated from law school a very, very long time ago, I didn't have a clue about the unexpected turns and twists and tracks my life would take. I would have thought you were crazy if you told me that one day I would be a senior advisor to the Secretary of Education, or that I would be nominated by the President of the United States to be the Assistant Secretary for Special Ed and Rehab Services. There is no doubt there have been disappointments along the way, but I am also a lucky guy. I've had the opportunities to pursue my passions and hopefully make an impact on the lives of kids and families, but I didn't have to do it alone. I've had mentors, and I still do. Without the opportunities, people have opened doors for me. They've provided me with opportunities, and yes, they have given me second chances. And frankly, I can't imagine a greater opportunity to make an impact, to make a difference for individuals with disabilities and their families, to be able to say, on behalf of the President of the United States, we have high expectations for our children. Not a day goes by where I don't recognize the opportunity given to me. I am humbled and honored every day of my life. I can only hope that I'm able to live up to the opportunities provided to me. You know, in our interdependent global economy, it's not just knowledge and subject mastery that determines your success, as important as they may be. It's your ability to adapt and to be creative and to stretch yourself and to take risks, to learn and grow from failure, and to be a hungry, lifelong learner will largely determine how you fare in the job market and in life. Whatever the personal equivalent is for you, you have to be prepared to chase that dream, to pursue your passion. But again, the truth is none of us got here by ourselves. Along the way, there was someone, some program that gave you a helping hand, who picked you up when you fell, who helped you get back on your feet. So as you pursue your dreams and your goals, please remember, pay it forward. You know, last week I had the opportunity to participate in a ceremony honoring young people from all across the country. These young people, these kids, were being recognized for their volunteer service. Kids as young as 11 and 12 years old, giving back to their communities. I met a young woman. She was a child who overcame a diagnosis of brain cancer to start a nonprofit organization and has raised over $100,000 to increase awareness of childhood cancer and help ease the financial burden on families of young children with cancer. I met a young man from California. He recognized some of the mobility challenges individuals who are blind or visually impaired sometimes face. And he designed and built a device that uses sensors to detect objects beyond the reach of someone's cane. He secured a grant to make multiple copies of this device and actually plans to create an open patent so that organizations for blind actually can make this device free of charge for their clients. I am truly inspired by the commitments of these young people that they have made in making their communities a better place. You know, 50 years ago, Robert Kennedy said, "Each man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice. He sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current which can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance." It is about breaking down barriers to opportunity, to serving others and working hard. And frankly, those aren't burdens, those are opportunities that mold our character in profound and lasting ways. So as you prepare to graduate with your advanced degrees and you move forward with your lives, I am confident that you will not only be successful in your careers, but that you will send forth those tiny ripples of hope. I am confident that you will break down those barriers to opportunity so that every young person has the opportunity to achieve their dreams like you and I have actually been able to do. Thank you so much for the honor to be here today. Congratulations to every single one of you.
Thank you, Mr. Uden. You're an inspiration to all of our graduates and to all of us here today. I would now like to give you a small token of our appreciation. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the hoods that we're going to award today. Each hood color represents a particular academic degree which is awarded to our students. Also, many of the students who have completed their graduate studies today, they complete them with a high grade point average. But there are only a few students who finish with a perfect grade point average, all A's. These students, with their hoods, will receive in addition an honor stole and medallion to signify their noteworthy achievement. Now I would like to call Mr. A. Dwight Benedict, Dean of Student Affairs and Academic Support, and Dr. Lawrence Pick, Chair, Council on Graduate Education, who will assist in the presentation of hoods. I also call Dr. Jeannie Gertz, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Good afternoon and congratulations. I'm very proud to preside over the awards and hooding of the graduates from the College of Arts and Sciences. You will find a description of each award that the departments are presenting in your program. The following departments within the College of Arts and Sciences will present the awards and hoods: ASL and Deaf Studies, Linguistics, and Psychology. I would like to ask Dr. Bauman, Chair of the Department of ASL and Deaf Studies, to please come forward.
Hello, everyone. Will Dr. Ben Bain, Dr. M.J. Bienvenu, Dr. Patrick Poudreau, and Dr. Rachel Harris please join me in presenting 4 awards and the hoods for the Deaf Studies and Sign Language Education graduates. Please come up. The George W. Vedet's Deaf Studies Award is presented to a particular graduate student who has been chosen for this award because he is energetic, committed, and is a creative individual. Congratulations to Ezra Plankin.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For the Masters in Sign Language Education Academic Achievement Award, we typically give that award to one student every year. But this year, we had a tie that we couldn't break. The first student is one of our most consistent and reliable students. She produces stellar, innovative work throughout her program. This award goes to Tanya Miller. For the second student, professors in our program have spoken very highly of her work. She's passionate and one of the top-notch ASL professors and poets. This award goes to Jody Oates. we have another tie for the Masters in Sign Language Education Award. So we decided to give this award to two students. The first awardee entered the program wide-eyed, with apprehension and slightly cold feet. Throughout the program, he immediately exploded with confidence, spunk, and tenacity, closing with one of the best teaching internships ever with Gallaudet's own Jumpstart ASL program. This award goes to Jason Big. Very similar to the first awardee, this student entered the program anxious and unsure, and then immediately transformed into one of our top students, producing stellar assignments and projects. This award goes to Jolene Halford. And now we have the Dr. Nathan L. Marbury Award. This award is presented to a student who comes from a blend of African American and Mexican American deaf families. He's the first on both sides of his family to graduate with a master's degree. This award goes to John Moore, Jr. And unfortunately not here. Now, will the Masters of Arts graduates from ASL and Deaf Studies please come forward? Jung San An. Serena Ariano. Justin Arrigo. Trish Monisha Blajan. Brenda Falje. Georgina Fitzpatrick. Barry Haywood. Rosemary Johnson, with honors. Maria Clausen. Sandon Larson. Jennifer Marfino. Julie Martin. Jonathan McMillan. Sarah McMillan. Miranda Meduno. Jody Oates. Ezra Plancon with honors. Marissa Polver. Timothy Riker. Diana Thurgood with honors. Will Dr. Paul Dudas, Chair of the Department of Linguistics, please come forward? Will Dr. Tara Edwards and Dr. Kristen Mulrooney please come forward to assist in presenting one award and hoods to linguistics students? The Robert E. Johnson Award is presented to a student who, in her 2 years at Gallaudet, has been an outstanding student, immersing herself into discussions of language structure and use, and clearly displaying analytic aptitude in her challenges to existing linguistic analyses, offering new insights, and benefiting the intellectual community within the department and the field. That student is Amelia Becker. Will the Master of Arts graduates from the Linguistics program please come forward? Amelia Becker. Sadie Dudley. Megan Kish. Shay Taylor. Derek Vore. Martin Watkins. Henry Andresitz. Will Dr. Dennis Galvin, Chair of the Department of Psychology, please come forward? Will Dr. Carolyn Corbett, Dr. Brian Miller, and Dr. Tanya Thomas Presswood please join me in the presentation of 2 awards and hoods for the Master of Arts and specialist degrees in psychology. The first award is the Elizabeth Peete Award for School Psychology. This award is presented to a student who has shown outstanding and consistently high levels of performance in coursework and practicum experience. Her commitment and enthusiasm holds potential for significant contributions in the field of school psychology and service to deaf and hard of hearing children and their families. Congratulations to Heather Breitbach, who could not join us today. Our second award is the Larry Stewart Award, which is presented to an outstanding student in the clinical psychology program who has demonstrated the excellence in scholarship, clinical work, and research that were valued by our esteemed late colleague, Dr. Larry Stewart. This award goes to Rebecca Elliott Smith. Will the graduates from the Specialist and Master of Arts programs in psychology please come forward? Jasmine Fassett. Amber Marshall. Hannah Patterson. Yasmin Al-Hassawi. Jennifer Cardenas. Brittany Cooley. Donna Guardino. Danielle Prevy. Mary Rios. Karina Rivas. Elizabeth Romero. Marissa Straub. I now call Dr. Mather to return to the podium. Now I'd like to ask Dr. Isaac Agbula to preside over the hooding of graduates from the School of Education, Business, and Human Services. Thank you, Dr. Mather. Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations to all of our proud graduates. Congratulations to our proud faculty and all of the family and friends who are here today. I'm so proud to preside over the awards and hooding of graduates from the School of Education, Business, and Human Services, which includes the following departments: Counseling, Education, Government and Public Affairs, Hearing, Speech, and Language Sciences, Interpretation, and Social Work. I'd like to ask Dr. Kendra Smith, Chair of the Department of Counseling, to please come forward.
Dr. Mary Huffnell, and Dr. Linda Lytle. Would you please join me in presenting one award and the hoods to the graduates in the Department of Counseling? This year's faculty and students have chosen a student who embodies the spirit of the award and the legacy of Dr. Francine White. This student has a passion for improving the lives of deaf and hard of hearing school children and has a special talent for building connections with others. And it doesn't matter the age of those individuals. With empathy and compassion, this student reaches out to those around him, providing a warm and welcoming space. Congratulations to Brian Tingley. Will the Master of Arts graduates from the Department of Counseling please come forward, including those from the mental health counseling and school counseling programs? Morgan Breeze. Christine Grimes. Savannah Hagwood. Kimberly Hahn. Carrie Johnson. Brandon Marin. Julie Spigner. Brian Tingley. Dr. Maribel Gallaudet will now present the awards and hoods for the master's degrees in education. Will Dr. Christina Eucnis and Dr. Amy Wilson please join me in the presentation of awards and hoods for our graduates, including those in education, deaf education, and international development. The Department of Education will present 4 awards today. The Daniel T. Cloud Award is presented to 2 outstanding students. The first student distinguished herself academically in all of her courses, earning a high GPA by completing outstanding academic work while working for our department as a graduate assistant. Congratulations, Samantha Smith. The second student also has outstanding academic performance and often went above and beyond class expectations and was known to help her peers. Even after completing her coursework, this student has continued to help by tutoring undergraduate students. Congratulations to Catherine Henniger. Our third award, the Helen Fay Award, is presented to the student most likely to make a significant contribution in the field of teaching deaf children, and who is expected to remain in the field for some time. This student has demonstrated a natural ability for teaching. As a high school mathematics major, he is already in high demand in the job market. Congratulations to Scott Lehman. And I think Scott is not with us today because he's already working. Our next award is the Marjorie Stoll Memorial Scholarship Award. This award is presented to a first-year student who has demonstrated scholastic ability and an aptitude for teaching deaf children. This year's recipient is an outstanding student, a teacher assistant, and a natural teacher. We look forward to seeing what she will accomplish in the field. Congratulations to Danielle Berrigan. There you are. Come on down, Danielle. Our final award is the Outstanding International Development Graduate Student Award. This award is presented to a student who has excelled in coursework, in addition to promoting deaf and disability inclusion and development assistant programs through conducting workshops, presenting on panels, producing videos, and through monitoring international disability rights reports alongside professionals at the U.S. State Department, and as a fellow under the U.S. International Council on Disabilities with World Learning International, and in Germany with CBM International. Congratulations go to Megan Shanks. Will the graduates of the education programs please come forward? Dr. Risa Sharif, with honors. Barbara Farrell. Malahi Gaz Ansari. Catherine Henniger, with honors. Joshua Hosa. Craig Joseph. Joshua Lothridge. Margaret Odiambo. Melanie Orr. Allie Roberts. Megan Shanks. Samantha Smith. Umar Tukar. Dr. David Penna will preside over the presentation of awards and hoods for graduates from the Department of Government and Public Affairs.
Will Dr. Francis Duffy, Dr. Angela McCaskill, and Dr. Mark Myers please assist me in presenting one award and hoods from the Department of Government and Public Affairs. The Master of Public Administration Award is presented to two recipients. They've demonstrated a strong and persistent desire to succeed academically in the MPA program. Their dedication to their personal learning is reflected in their achievements within the program. Congratulations go to Robert Siebert, and also congratulations to Lucy Upa. Will the Master of Public Administration graduates please come forward? Hillary Alumaga. Carrie Barbin, with honors. Kara Gulvas. Jada Johnson. Jacob Leffler. Danette Legan. Gregory Randall. Tiffany Sachente. Robert Siebert. Corian Thomas. Nora Torres. Lucy Upa. Will Dr. Matthew Bakke, Chair of the Department of Hearing, Speech, and Language Sciences, please come forward? Dr. Brenda Seal and Dr. Shizuko Tamaki will join me in presenting the awards and hoods for our department. Our department is presenting 3 awards today. The first award is the Adrienne L. Kaplan Memorial Endowment Fund Award. This award is presented to a first-year student in the Speech-Language Pathology program who has a GPA of 3.97 and strong clinical performance over the last 2 semesters in the Hearing and Speech Center. Congratulations to Jasmine Wolf. The Handelsman Hendricks Award is presented to 2 students this year. The first student deserves her award because of her high academic achievement and strong analytical, critical thinking skills, and her ability to communicate difficult concepts to others. Congratulations to Christina Graham. The second student deserves her award because of her high academic and clinical achievements, and she easily builds rapport with supervisors, peers, and the clients she serves. Congratulations to Bridget Meehan. The award for excellence in speech-language pathology is presented to a student who has earned a 3.95 GPA and has received strong endorsements from on and off-campus clinical placements. Congratulations to Danielle Corey. The award for excellence in audiology is presented to a student who deserves this award because of her excellent academic and clinical performance, as well as for her very positive personality that makes it easy for everyone to work with her. Congratulations to Kelsey Justin. Will the clinical doctoral graduates in audiology please come forward? Dr. Monica Allgauer. Dr. Cynthia Fry. Dr. Catherine Grun. Dr. Rebecca Kingman. Dr. Hillary Kramer. Dr. Monica Majewski. Dr. Dina Rollins. Dr. Nichelle Wilson. Will the graduates from the Master of Science Speech Language Pathology program please come forward? Valencia Clark. Danielle Corey. Alexandra Grunza. Caitlin Mulray. Mary Anastasia Organitis. Jeanette Ozoa. Gina Parker. Erica Pierce. Sarah Pustizi. Lindsay Sanderson. Jennifer Scaramazza. Jean Squiante. Nora Werner. Emily Wolski. Dr. Melanie Metzger will now present the awards and hoods for the master's degree students in interpretation.
Dr. Christopher Stone and Ms. Danielle Hunt will assist me in presenting 2 awards and hoods to the Masters in Interpretation students. The Barbara Babini Brazil Research Award recognizes an exemplary interpretation research paper completed by a graduate student in the master's program in interpretation, and it discusses the outstanding research contributing to our understanding of how to work appropriately with people in recovery. Congratulations to Amy Murray. The Ron Coffey Award is presented to an outstanding student interpreter who has demonstrated continued support of and involvement in the deaf community, including her work with the Gallaudet University Regional Interpreter Education Center, and being a soccer coach with MSSD. Congratulations to Caitlin Ramsey. Will the master's graduates of the interpretation program please come forward? Connor Gillis. Amy Murray. Anna Nabao Tantul. Caitlin Ramsey. Heather Terrell. Brenda Wharton. Richard Zabelski with honors. At this time, Dr. Elizabeth Moore will come forward to present the awards and hoods to the social work graduates. Will Dr. Martha Sheridan join me in presenting 2 awards and hooding to the MSW students? We have 2 awards. The first is the Catherine H. Moses Award, and is presented to a student who has demonstrated dynamic and innovative leadership. Considering her short program, she handled numerous crises involving difficult colleagues and has been able to participate in various events representing our program. She was president of Mu Pi Honor Society, and she has proven to be a considerate, competent, and committed leader in the deaf community. Congratulations to Christina Burke. Our second award is the G. Arlene Gavin Award, and it is presented to a student who has blossomed since arriving here. He successfully completed the ITF certificate training in August 2014 during his MSW program here. His papers reflect critical thinking and creativity. He has been observed interacting professionally with faculty, staff, students, and colleagues. Without doubt, he believes in social justice. Congratulations to Tyler Cargo. Will the Masters of Social Work graduates please come forward? Tamira Beverly. Christina Burke, with honors. Tyler Cargo. Jesse Ellis. Jaquise Hawkins. Ryan Havia. Tara Miles. Sarah Wintman. Rachel Zimmerman. Will Dr. Gaurav Mathur return to present awards from the graduate school?
This year, the graduate school has 5 awards. I'd like to ask Dr. Jeannie Gertz, Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, to present the CAS Teaching Awards.
Graduate Teaching Awards are presented to from both schools, and this year only CAS will be presenting the Graduate Teaching Award. This recipient is an interactive and engaging teacher who has used active learning and hands-on teaching to make her lessons stronger. She has supervised several clinical psychology students and is continually striving to improve her own teaching skills. With professional development activities, congratulations with a huge to Dr. Elizabeth Gibbons.
The next award is the Outstanding Graduate Faculty Member Award. This award is presented to a faculty member who, according to testimony from his department and other colleagues, is an outstanding teacher and researcher. Among his accomplishments, he serves on the research committees of between 8 and 12 graduate students, going way beyond the norm in his department, and he has published research on cognitive functioning in deaf children. In addition, he has provided numerous hours of service to the university through the Council for Graduate Education and to the profession with his service on the American Psychological Association Committee on Disability Issues in Psychology. Congratulations to Dr. Lawrence Pick. The next award is the Graduate Research Writing Award, and it's presented to 2 students, one master's student and one PhD student. The master's student is from the ASL Deaf Studies Department. She wrote an outstanding master's thesis titled "The Art of Mobile ASL Access, a study on using smartphone apps to provide ASL access in art museums." A work that is of immediate practical relevance to art museums that have been considering the use of technology for access. Congratulations to Rosemary Johnson. Remember, 2 students win this award. The second is a PhD student. The PhD student is from the Department of Interpretation. His dissertation, titled "The Translation of Event Structure Metaphors Rendered by Deaf Translators from English to American Sign Language," according to his committee, was an excellent piece of work which contributes to the scientific understanding of metaphors and translation. Congratulations to Daniel Rausch. The next award is the Graduate Student Outstanding Achievement Award, and is presented to one of the strongest students in the Department of Psychology, who, according to the faculty, has excelled in the areas of scholarship, research, and clinical work. She came to Gallaudet with an interest in continuing her work with military troops. During her training experience at the Multicultural Clinical Center, she demonstrated strong clinical skills and the ability to establish rapport with even the most difficult clients. She's also served as co-editor-in-chief of the Gallaudet Chronicle of Psychology. Congratulations go to Joanna DeZuria. And last but not least, the Outstanding External Collaboration Award recognizes an individual or organization that's provided exemplary support to a graduate program at Gallaudet over a substantial period of time. This year's recipient has been a sounding board for many students in the Department of Hearing, Speech, and Language Sciences who pursued research interests in the area of noise exposure. She's been a long-time, invaluable collaborator to the department, and in particular, her involvement with one student thesis in the last 2 years went beyond what anyone could have expected. Congratulations to Dr. Deanna Minke, who unfortunately is not here today. The faculty would also like to recognize one graduate faculty member for his excellent work for the graduate school. Dr. Lawrence Pick, please stand and be recognized. Dr. Pick has been chair of the Council on Graduate Education for the past 3 years. Your service and dedication is greatly appreciated. Please come forward and receive a small token of our appreciation. This year, 9 students have completed the requirements for a PhD from Gallaudet University. Tomorrow, during the commencement ceremony, 8 candidates will join us to receive their PhD hoods and diplomas. 1 student from the Department of Education, 1 student from the Department of Hearing, Speech, and Language Sciences, 1 student from the Department of Interpretation, 1 student from the Department of Linguistics, and 4 students from the Department of Psychology will receive their Doctor of Philosophy degrees. Will you all please stand so that we can recognize you? Thank you. Now, before we close, please applaud all of our graduates. I'd like to acknowledge all those who work so hard to provide our graduate students with such an exceptional opportunities and experiences. Their dedication makes Gallaudet University the leader in its graduate education and professional preparation. Without all of those who work with our students, our efforts would not succeed. As our graduates exit, we ask that you please remain seated. At the conclusion of the recessional, we invite all of you to join us at the I. King Jordan Student Academic Center for the President's reception. Thank you. Congratulations again, graduates.